Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece episode 924. So to start off, a large chunk of this episode was devoted to the Big Mom Pirates fighting Kaido and his crew, and what more can I say in regards to that? It was just two powerhouse crews, just slugging it out, and it basically showed us, the potential and how truly strong but a collision between a crew of two of the Yonko is really capable, and what a fight like that is capable of. And honestly, just the spectacle alone, it was great. But also, maybe it's largely because we haven't gotten an episode for 2 straight weeks. But watching this episode, there were many times during that beginning portion, and frankly throughout the entire episode, where the art and animation, while not perfect, still looked very stylized as fuck. And overall, there looked stylized as fuck, and honestly was just overall felt very beautiful to look at. And it's not like what one moment I can really nail down or anything, but it's just just a scene here, a scene there, just all throughout the episode. There were just little gems of moments where I thought, this looks way better than this looks way better than basically previous episodes I've seen. And this looks way better and just more stylized compared to just previous episodes I've seen. And yeah, there were just so many moments in the episode itself that there were just so many moments within each moment of the episode where it felt like where each scene in each moment where it felt like it had that there was that extra amount of effort put into the art quality. And again, I'm sure previous episodes have had those moments as well, but here it was just really noticeable, a lot more noticeable compared to normal. I think largely because, and again, I can only trace it back to the fact that One Piece has been on a 2 week break. Like the fact that we haven't, like the fact that we've taken that big of a break, and that I wasn't able to review it from just weekly anymore. I think I think it's just one of those times where, or because of that break, the animators, the artists, they had the time in order to focus on some really key areas in order to make the episode stand out. And yeah, and the effort really shows. So I have to give, whatever the case I have to give the episode nothing but praise, and praise for its quality alone. It wasn't perfect, but I definitely noticed the jump in quality for sure. Um, and of course with the battle of Big Mom Pirates versus Kaido's crew, we basically see King entering the battle right off the bat, and with King basically facing down the Big Mom Pirates, we basically get a real display of how powerful Kaido's subordinates are, and specifically the one thing that makes Kaido's subordinates strong, or at least just generally a threat, is not really it's not really even a question of how strong they are that makes them a threat, but really how skilled they are. And as shown in this episode, King, with very few aerial maneuvers in his Devil Fruit form, managed to knock Big Mom's ship off its balance, hurtling into the whirlpool. So, yeah, whether we're talking pure strength, or whether we're talking strength or skill, Kaido's covered all his bases in terms of what level he needs his crew to be at, and it gives us a great sense for what exactly we're dealing with here in terms of Kaido's crew. Again, Kaido's crew is an enemy need to be feared, and just with King alone, we were already shown that. It's just a little too bad that Kroon couldn't do that, but yeah, too bad. But yeah. And honestly, just from the display too, like I I don't know how much of that fight was anime only, was stuff added to the anime, or how much of it was or how much it was from the manga, I forget. But with King's little display of basically adding fire to his like pterodactyl claw and whatnot in order to take out the ship, in order to take out Big Mom's ship. Yeah, that to me more or less says that that probably the one to face him down is going to be Sanji, and just could you imagine if like Sanji ends up facing King? It would be like a battle of the fire cake versus the fire claw. Like that would be like an epic for the ages. Like that's the kind of battle I want to see right now. Like King versus Sanji. Like that's the kind of battle I live for right now. Just from that one display. Now, the back half of the episode basically covered the Straw Hats and Law trying to escape, or just in general avoid a confrontation with Page One as much as possible. And I feel one thing that part of the episode really did is it emphasized just how thorough and strategic Law really is. And it's something we've always known, but this episode really put it on full display as just even during this very panicky moment, he came up with a solution and a solution for basically every scenario that they would end up facing in this moment. While at the same time, those strategies each put an emphasis on protecting the anonymity and their anonymity from being associated with the Kazuki clan, which in itself it shows that yeah, they, when it comes to like the Straw Hats, Law, all of them, Straw Hats, Law, Luffy, the Hard Pirates, all of them, they really are just pawns on a chessboard in this game, in this battle over Wano. And like I said, they're really just pawns in order to protect the important pieces in this case, or in this case, the Prince Kozuki clan and the samurai associated with them. Like, it's just based off like basically Law's assessment of basically how to survive this. It pretty much puts it pretty much puts a it pretty much puts in perspective that even if Luffy like is the one to defeat Kaido in the end, they like the Kozuki clan themselves are still like the main key in order to save Wano. It can't be, it pretty much can't be solved with just Luffy defeating Kaido. End of story. No, the Kozuki clan are still a needed element in this in order to protect in order to protect in order to get Wano back in Kazuki power, because well mainly because like as we see Orochi is an element, and even though he does kind of have that Wappo quality to him, it is a situation where he can't just like he can't just punch he can't just punch like can't just punch Orochi and that's the end of it. No, the Kazuki clan are still needed for that. Of course, and of course, in the end, Sanji pretty much faced down Page One, which again is another moment just shows the strength of his character. If it ends up saving anyone, he's ready, willing, and able to take responsibility for his actions. Like in this chapter, Sanji recognized that his actions were responsible for basically causing the citizens of Wano the problems that Page One was causing. So he was ready. So in the end, he knew he had to take responsibility for that no matter what. and of course, as we see by the end of the episode, he brings out the raid suit, which in itself also shows if he's willing to use something of his family legacy that I don't want to say hates, but he doesn't necessarily like, then even he knows the situation is what the situation is, and how serious the situation is and how much stronger his opponent is just from that one kick. And yeah, I can already tell from the preview we're in for a real treat next week with Sanji using the raid suit and whatnot. Because yeah, that preview was something else. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and let's do Crunchyroll. Dead Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.